Okay. Okay. In accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, be advised that a notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board, Town Hall, and mailing to the officially designated newspapers a list of the meeting dates annually, indicating that this meeting would take place at the Town Hall at 7 p.m. on August 5th, 2024.
Joseph Caulfield,
Present.
John Rivers-Rani.
Here.
Amy Lawrence.
Here.
Gary Rosen.
Here.
Gina Truitt.
Here.
Vice Chair, Chair Justin Black.
Here.
Acting chair.
Okay. I'm just gonna start off by announcing that calendar 3911-23, the applicant is Amaya Garbayo. The location is 146 Sagamore Road. This matter is being carried to 9/16/24 with no further notice. So if anyone is in the room for that, it will be heard on 9/16/24. Okay, we will start with the approval of minutes from June 17th, 2024. Do I have any corrections or changes? Do I have anyone who will make a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have to abstain.
And the next is the memorializations. The first is calendar 3963-23. That's Michael and Tanya Ganella. The address is 35 Adams Avenue, Milburn. Who is eligible to vote on this?
Joe Caulfield, Virginia Truitt. That seems to be all for today.
Do I have any,
Who's gonna fight on?
do I have any corrections or changes to the memorialization? Do you have someone who wants to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve calendar 3963-23.
I will second.
Joseph Caulfield,
Yes.
Virginia Truitt.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have the memorialization for calendar 3994-24. That's St. Rose of Lima, 5052 Short Hills Avenue, Short Hills. And let the record reflect that Priscilla Seraph has just entered the room. Eileen, can you let us know who is eligible to?
Amy Lawrence, Virginia Truitt, Joe Serra, Black.
Do I have any corrections or changes to this memorialization?
So, Madam Chair, I'm going to just raise a couple of points that were raised earlier today by the attorney for the applicant. They were fine with the resolution in terms of form. They just had a couple of concerns about two of the conditions for approval. So, and these are condition number 2 and condition number 3 that were in the resolution. Condition number 2, as drafted, states that the applicant shall, in consultation with the township's forester, design and plant landscaping that will provide screening of the applicant's proposal for all 4 seasons of the year. What the applicant has proposed is a change in the language to instead state the applicant shall, in consultation with the township's forester, design and plant landscaping with the intent that it will provide screening of the applicant's proposal for all 4 seasons of the year to the greatest extent practicable and subject to the township forester's review and approval. So this proposed change, as well as the next one I'm going to mention, I told the applicant's attorney that I would review the matter with the board, and that's what I'm doing. In terms of reviewing the record and preparing the draft resolution, I don't have a big problem with the proposed change, given that it's going to be subject in the end to the review and approval of the township forester. It also is sometimes difficult to ascertain when you're providing a condition that the applicant is to screen a particular proposal for all 4 seasons, screening from where. And so usually, because of that, we keep that language in, but we lean on the township forester in this case, just to make sure that he or she is comfortable with the proposed screening per the landscape plan. So does anyone have any objection or comment with regard to that proposed change?
I just want to ask you, will the township forester be aware of the board's, preference to have it as a, 4-season screening? Like, who's the onus on to, let them know?
Well, so the screening all 4 seasons of the year is going to remain in the resolution as revised. But presumably, the township forester gets a copy of the resolution.
Okay, great.
So does anyone have any problem with that?
So we had talked about evergreens, just to put some daylight on it. We have discussed evergreens, but I think the client felt that might not be possible.
That's correct, and that's particularly what they pointed out to me, that we had some back and forth about whether it was
Right,
evergreens or
evergreens.
green giants or different types of evergreen trees. So that's why they felt more comfortable just kind of leaning on the township forester for that. So that's the one change, and the other change had to do with paragraph 3, where the way we drafted it was to state that the applicant shall, in conjunction with condition number 2 above regarding the township forester, plant all trees contained within said landscape design at a minimum height of 18 feet at the time of planting. That's what we had stated. What they wanted was to add the language to the greatest extent practicable and subject to the township forester's review and approval. I actually shot a note back to the attorney saying I'm less comfortable with this proposed change because the applicant did represent that they would have the trees at a minimum of 18 feet tall, to which I received a response that they are not opposed to sticking to that representation, but they just want to make sure that the township forester reviews that, because they said that there may be some overhead wires and some other things in terms of particular placement of those trees. So I would recommend to maybe keep the language as originally drafted, but maybe we add subject to the township forester's review.
That makes sense to me.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay, and then other than that, Regina pointed out that we mentioned Frank and Tiffany Fehrenbach, and it was Fehrenbach, not Eckenbach that I had, so I'll make that change as well. So, and that's it in terms of comments from the attorneys or other members of the board.
Okay, thank you. Any other changes, corrections? Okay, you already said who's eligible
Yes,
for this, right?
Amy.
Okay.
Gina, Priscilla.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
So I'll make a motion to approve calendar 3994-24 with the changes that we just discussed.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Amy Lawrence,
Yes.
Regina Truitt,
Yes.
Priscilla Saran,
Yes.
Jessica Black.
Yes,
Thank you, and I'll make those changes and get them.
thank you. Okay, first up, we have calendar 3996-24, that's 38 Crescent Place. The applicant is Stefanos Orekas. Right here? Okay, great, why don't you come on up?
Who do I
is that your-
swear to?
Are you the architect?
I'm the architect.
Okay, and is your client going to be speaking at all?
No, he's on a business trip, unfortunately,
Oh, okay.
so if that's okay.
Do you have anyone else who's speaking, or?
Well, we have Chris Montana, who's the contractor.
Okay, why don't we
General.
swear him in as well?
Okay.
Mr. Coffey, just raise your right hand, please. Testimony you're about to give tonight seem to be the truth, whole truth, and but the truth.
I do.
Your name for the record, spell your name, please.
Christopher Fontana, CHRISTOPHER, last name FONTANA.
I William Figdor, Figdor.
I'm the general contractor, doing work on the Aretha's property. We started at phase one with the deck and doing phase two.
And, would you mind just giving the board your qualifications, please?
I've actually been here with the board on previous occasions. I've been an architect for, registered since 91.
And your license is in good standing?
Yes, it's been,
And you provide testimony before this board and other boards in Essex County. You're
I have.
qualified as a professional in the field of architecture.
I have.
Your qualifications have been accepted.
So here, we're here for a deck roof. In other words, we reconstructed an existing deck. After reviewing with Eileen Davitt, we set back the side yard of the new deck, even though we could have, it was grandfathered, but just to conform better with zoning. Now, the owner is also, as part of this project, has always wanted to have a roofed deck, a roof for the deck. And the idea is that it's more of a year-round usable, not so weather dependent, whether it rains or not, to get better use out of it. So we've already built the deck. Chris already had constructed it. And now we just would like to proceed to do the roof. So there are several variances that we need for that due to the nature of the property lines. And that's kind of, so there's three. I don't know if you need me to list them.
Yeah.
So section 606.2E.2B. That's for lot coverage permitted. We're allowed 35%, and we're over by 1.9%, so we're at 36.9. The 606.2E.1A, that's for rear yard unoccupied. It's required to be 25% unoccupied, and it would be 14.3. Although this was already covered area. I should just give you the street numbers. 606.2E.1H, that's rear yard setback. The required is 23.8, proposed is 20 feet. That hasn't changed either. So these are existing conditions.
So you're saying that these, all three, lot coverage, rear yard unoccupied, and rear yard setback are all existing conditions? Nothing is made worse by putting the.
No, we actually improved it a little bit by reducing about 2 foot and change on the side yard setback. So we've actually improved it, not the other way.
You're not seeking relief for stuff like that.
No, that's why we did it. We cut it back so we wouldn't have the side. It was like 10.07, I think, or 10.7, and now it's a little over 12 feet, which is the required.
So these are all pre-existing conditions that were grandfathered in because you rebuilt the deck, making the improvements that you just referred to. But
Yeah.
now that you're trying to put a
A roof,
roof over it, you're triggering all of these again, but you're saying
Right.
you're not making anything worse. This is all.
right.
It's just that it's not pre-existing to have a roof over it.
Yeah. It was a deck, it's still a deck, and then it's just a roof.
So the roof is the same dimensions as the deck.
As the new deck,
Yeah.
the replacement deck.
And you had talked about the side yard, but also it looks like the lot coverage is also you've done something different? Is it because of the change to the deck size?
Well, we,
Does the deck pre-roof qualify as lot coverage?
it should count as lot coverage, yes. I'm not sure what the question is, though. I'm sorry.
Well, it says existing usage 37.1%, proposed 36.9. I guess it's not a big difference, but it looks like you changed it slightly.
Well, it depends, I guess, I'm trying to figure out when I changed it, because it was when we did the deck, and then we applied for the roof. And I don't recall what the number was before and then the subsequent number.
Well, I think what Ms. Lawrence is getting at is that originally you had lot coverage at maybe 37%.
Okay,
And then once you remove that side yard piece, it was reduced to 36.9%. Is that possible?
yes, and that accounts for the deck being reduced. So I think that's,
So that condition.
so it counted as coverage before, and now it's a little less coverage.
Will this roof attach to the existing house?
You mean connect to it? I would think so. I mean, it's designed,
Is it going to or not?
it should,
Yes.
yes.
So rain, water, flash, I assume.
It's going to be completely, yeah, it's attached. It's not it's structurally independent. In other words, there's 3 posts on each side. And so it's not being structurally held to the house, but it's attached.
So your contractor, you're gonna flash that, so there's no.
Yeah,
So it'll be essentially.
It's self-supporting, but we are gonna attach it to the house as if it is part of the house the whole time.
The same with the new deck. There was a cantilever on the first floor, so the deck is self-supporting.
Yeah, the deck's freestanding, it's not.
Yeah.
Line
But
to
it's
the house.
attached,
It'll let
but
the
it's
board
not
attach it to the
structural.
building, yeah, okay.
Correct.
Do you have any plans to enclose the deck ever?
No, that wasn't the, no, they wanted the outdoor space.
What about rainwater?
We've already actually made it a deck, so you can't just I mean, in theory, you could enclose it, but it would have to be winterized. I'm sorry.
Any leaders, downspouts, gutters?
That's included from the roof.
But I'm saying that this new roof.
Yeah, that would be all new drainage on it as well.
Okay.
New gutters and meter pumps.
I'd have to see what number note that is, but. Note 12. It says gutters and leaders are included in the scope of work.
Question about that, with the gutters and the leaders, do they tie into the existing drainage that's on the property, or what I'm getting is that it's not going to increase the drainage on the neighbor's property,
I don't think they have undergrounds, I think everything is just running into the flower beds right now.
just in the flower beds? And I
Yeah.
guess previously there probably had to be some drainage from the deck, or,
Not really, I mean, just, there's, slats, everything kind of just goes right through it. So,
okay, yeah, all right. So this will be a little more focused, I guess.
yeah, we could have to consider where we drain it to, but I think he
Yeah.
wants it to get, back into the flower beds and
I
stuff.
have no idea. I think there are some codes regarding
This
drainage.
is gonna have to be removed.
Okay, yeah, because I know.
Whether he's gonna want to,
As far as some sort of water management,
because of the size, the rear. we need-
the dry well or something like that.
Yeah, or she might just want them tied in. so they're tight. That makes sense.
Good point. Thanks.
Basically, there'd be 2 gutters on the left and right side of the deck.
Just a quick question. How far is this deck going to end up being from the closest neighbor? I mean, I know it's existing and I know you've improved the footprint to be more closer to compliance.
Well, the rear yard is existing is 20 feet at the closest point. So if you're looking at the the survey, and you're looking in plan, the right side of the deck would be the closest, that's 20. The required is 20%, which is 24 feet. So that corner of the deck is essentially where the stairs is where that comes through.
So 20 feet?
20 feet.
20 feet. And that's improved by this construction? Was it 20, was it 18
That stayed the
feet
same.
before? It's staying the same.
Yeah, it was the
Okay,
left
we're-
side of the plan that
Oh,
got
okay,
shifted back.
okay, thank you.
With regard to the rear yard unoccupied, it looks like you also beyond the deck have a patio, balcony area, driveway. Was there any thought given, since you do have a significant deviation there, to remove or reduce some of that coverage in the rear?
Did you have any, I didn't have any discussions.
I'm sure
with
he'd be, he would consider it all. If he has to pull back on that stuff.
Or he's not here, and they haven't had any discussions with him.
Not yet.
Could you speak to the different variances beyond just that they were pre-existing and, it was now you're kind of reactivating them by,
with the roof.
trying to make, trying to do the roof?
So you want to know,
Well, I mean, I feel like we really haven't said much, like we don't have any kind of positive or negative criteria or anything else, just beyond that these are pre-existing.
yeah, I'm not sure what,
In other words, there are 3 variances that the applicant
Right.
needs from this board. And to have the board vote affirmatively for those variances, the applicant has the burden of proof to demonstrate that they meet what's called the positive and negative criteria for variance relief. And the chair, I believe, is saying that she would like to hear some proofs allegedly to satisfy that positive and negative criteria for the variance relief that's required by this board.
well, like I said before, the owner wanted to have a more year-round deck. Now, I don't know what numerically that's not a numerical answer, but
That's personal to the applicant.
yes, it is.
Himself, so,
He's not
That's not-
flipping the
that's-
house or anything
yeah,
like that.
that's not anything that we could, that wouldn't go towards the positive or negative criteria. We can't, personal
Well-
circumstances isn't anything that we could consider, so.
Well, he considers it an amenity for the property to have something that is usable more than weather-related.
Is there a reason why this particular deck should be covered as compared to any other deck that potentially could be covered in the township?
I can't answer that. I mean, I don't know what the answer would be. This is something he really felt he wanted to have for the enjoyment of his space.
Is there any hardship on the property that would make this the only solution possible?
You mean what other solutions could have there been?
Or is there just any particular properties of this
Well, I
lot
did,
that make it?
yeah, I mentioned how about a retractable roof or something that would be less structural, that could be opened up or something. They weren't interested in that.
Is the lot unusually narrow or anything like that, or?
Well, it has